Let's see what Tyrus has to
You're
say.
becoming like my most stable relationship.
Enough said.
The regular on Gutfeld, you've seen him here in town. He's a Fox News contributor as well, and his book is out right now, Get Enough Said. If you haven't yet, you will appreciate the opportunity to do so. Tyrus, I'm asking our listeners today if they're prepping more than usual because Mark Zuckerberg has decided to go underground, $100 million investment in buying a bunch of land in Hawaii. And I don't know what he's protecting himself from, but I'm wondering if this has caught your attention.
I think you should be prepping anyways, given just what's gone on with our infrastructure and our transits. Our ships are still, no one's talking about it, but our ships are still backed up. We're still not getting everything, things like, and in the weather, we're getting some really rough weather in Louisiana. So I prep all the time. Like I always have water as high as me. That you keep some cash and some canned goods and some stuff, the top ramen, the easy stuff, and shotguns with ammunition and all that good stuff. So I think everyone should be prepping a little bit, just given the fact that we get so little honest information from this administration. So, and we're seeing, and it's funny, buying land in Hawaii and stuff. I don't know if you're hanging out on the island is the safest place to be, but I'm sure there's another reason. But Oprah was buying up stuff like that too, I think, in Maui. Mm-hmm. She was trying to, after the fire, was trying to buy everyone's land out from underneath them. So obviously the elite know something we don't, and they're just always look at their behavior. They start buying up stuff or investing in stocks that, like, all of a sudden they're buying all kinds of stocks in like water and stuff. And then you really need to be paying attention to what's going on, but always prep.
Yeah, following suit a little bit. And when you see a little bit of a consistency with this much of their own money invested in it, you kind of raise an eyebrow and go, wonder what that's about. If you compare a lot of these folks, at least on the surface with their words, they're heavily invested in this idea of climate change and that things are going to get totally out of control from a climate standpoint. But also, like you said, if you look at what's going on in the world today, I got a Fox News alert that I haven't been able to dive completely into, but apparently there's a United States ship somewhere around Taiwan that China didn't like. That's the summation of the headline that I just got. It's hard to pick a point on a globe right now that isn't a bit on the edge of their seat. And it's funny to me how this is what we were told would absolutely happen if Donald Trump became the president. And it seems not even an important topic of discussion for at least the left-wing media while Joe Biden is the president and the world appears to be a dumpster fire.
Yeah, it's funny. Everything they said that he was going to do, they're doing it. So were they trying to put it out there to get away with it because they got to crack a few eggs to get where they want to go? And again, that falls on the American voter to fall for that. Hopefully they don't fall for it again this upcoming election. But I think just in general, the behavior of our administration I said it the other day on the 5, like it just doesn't feel good. It's like being in a humid, hot room. It doesn't feel good right now when you say I'm an American. When you look at the behavior of our government, you see how we don't really do anything unless somebody else does something. The half-assed natured support of Israel after Israel responded is just discouraging, blowing up buildings, and it's only when one of our allies attacks and we follow it up. But again, it just doesn't feel right when we're seeing these equity hires in the highest offices and the behaviors we're seeing, and it's depressing, So I think that has a lot to do with, and other nations see it, they know it. Russia, North Korea, they're selling missiles. They're doing their thing. Like, they're not concerned with the United States. Even Israel's kind of like, the last report we had is that president hasn't talked to him in over a month. I wonder why, because it's going to take him a month to put together another conversation. So it's just, and it's a really, I think the dinner bell's rung and our adversaries are emboldened, and we worry about things that are non-existent, like gender identity politics, instead of actually what's going on. So it's a frustrating time.
Well, your book is Enough Said, and your title for that goes along with your willingness and ability to articulate a very straight to the point message that resonates with people. If folks haven't checked you out on Fox Nation yet, you've got a stand-up special that everybody should watch called Here and Now, and encourage people to watch that as well. I want to put my faith in our nation's ability to self-regulate, because that's how we, the people, needs to function, where the government answers to the people, and that order of business always needs to be respected and maintained. And you are out there talking to real people on a regular basis, not just behind a camera at Fox or wherever you might be. I'm wondering, if you mentioned the DEI stuff and some of this nonsense diversionary tactics that the people who control the narrative get to put in front of us, what do actual Americans care about? And going back to what you said earlier, it feels kind of icky to say you're an American right now. What do you think Americans out there want to be able to say that it means when I say I'm an American?
Well, they want it to basically mean freedom, to be who you want to be in a capitalistic republic, to where you can work your butt off and move up the ladder. You know, you can change from being on government assistance to being in a mansion. This is the only country that you pretty much can do that. So you just want to feel good about stuff. And here's the thing: and I travel. I don't do bodyguards. I don't do security. I do my own driving. I do my own shopping. Because if you're truly great, you can take your kids to school, like Mike Tyson would say. So, and the general consensus is it's just a frustration. I think it's the American people across the board have been insulted a little bit. And this isn't the ones who sit on social media all day. These are the ones who work. These are the ones who pay bills. These are the ones who make decisions on, are we going to have a family vacation this summer? Am I going to put money away for my son to go to school? Like real Americans who don't have time to sit and complain about first word feelings every time someone doesn't like something they say. And I think the camera has been on that group for far too long, and it's by design, because we're all arguing over what is a woman, which is ridiculous. Instead of like, hey, why are eggs still $7.99? Why is an average tank of gas $3.89 a gallon? Why are we still not getting our products on time? Why are our planes breaking down? Our trains breaking down? You know, why does no one want to enlist in the military anymore? These are things that, you know, why do we keep spending billions of dollars to Ukraine, and then come to find out the money's missing, it's misappropriated, they can't find some of the armory that was supposedly purchased? I mean, it's just when you list all those things, the beautiful thing is that we are one election away from changing all that and getting some form of back to the center where we need to be, and start feeling good about it. Now, my biggest concern is that through this whole process, the right, which is villainized, and as a proud Republican, it is my side that is racist and misogynistic and about civil war and about destroying the fabric of this country and becoming dictators. But we're not showing that behavior. Even after Trump's loss, I didn't read too many stories about MAGA guys burning cities down.
Right.
You know, that's not what happened. We don't have a video of a MAGA hat on all four knees screaming no, no. You know, we didn't have that, because most Republicans accepted it and moved on and had their right to talk about it, had their right to complain about it, became more involved in the local politics. So that's how they made change. They didn't burn down their cities. They didn't go looting. None of that shit. I'm sorry, excuse me. None of that stuff was going down. So the party of responsibility has become the Republican Party. Now, we will go on TV and we will go to speeches and rallies and town halls and speak our mind and give our opinions. And that's the American way. But you don't see that on the Republican side. Now, the other side, their protests are becoming invasive. They're attacking people in their cars. It's okay to spit on police, throw bricks through their windows, burn down the city of Minnesota. Like, it's just, and it's all like, oh, it was and they have the media to cover for them. So that's the part that concerns me. The American people will vote, and I think if Biden and I think he will be the nominee, there's no way they're going to give up that much power. If Biden, I don't care who's on the Republican side. I think President Trump, Nikki Haley. If when you suspend your campaign, it doesn't mean it's over. So if they find some way to one of those convictions or things with Trump to keep him out of the White House, who's ever coming up behind him will also beat Biden. So I think we're in a good position in terms of the American people just aren't falling for it. The treatment of our police officers, border controls, all that stuff. America, we're not sleeping on it. We're no longer going to follow into arguing over trans men drinking Budweiser. We're not talking about that anymore. We're focused on what's going on in our country, what's going on at the border, what's going on in our wallets, and how our leadership is representing us to the world. And I can honestly say that if I talk to 10 people, all 10 will have an issue. And I don't bother to ask them their affiliation. Like, oh, you're Republican, Libertarian, whatever. They're just grown men and women talks, and then just like, and if you don't like something, you don't say, well, as a Democrat, as a Republican, we don't talk that way. It's like, man, I'm trying to put my kid through school and my grocery bill is $600. My electric bill is another $200. My car insurance went up. People in Louisiana, the insurance companies are playing highway robbery with them. They're tripling and doubling their home insurance. And those are the things that people are worried about. They're not worried about what somebody said 10 years ago. So it's a frustrating time. But America, we always take these punches in stride and we always figure it out. Yeah. So I'm confident that the American people, we will figure it out. It's not the end of the world. It's just a tough time. And real quick, yeah, the climate is changing. It's always going to be changing. If you live in California, dig in the dirt for a while, you'll find seashells in the mountains. So it is changing, and there's nothing we can do about it. The Earth is a few billion years old. We've been here 200,000 years or something like that. It's funny to think that we're influencing this. It's going to change. Rainforests become icelands. Icelands become rainforests. Deserts become oceans, and vice versa. That's how this planet works. We're just on it. We're not running it. We're just on it.
Yeah, I think that common sense, what I hear you saying, and I'm excited about, is that when you are out there talking to American people across the country, that you see the potential for common sense to prevail. And it is a great thing that in this country in November, we get to take some action on that common sense and hopefully make a different decision.
Because most people don't sit in front of the TV and argue over politics. They don't. They're living their lives. Now, the noise is getting so loud from some of these bad policies and just bad decisions and horrible hires. It's starting to affect them at the dinner table when they're supposed to be asking their kids about their day or talking about what their plan is for the weekend. It's like, oh, this is so expensive. And so the conversation is changing, not because Americans are all focused on President Biden and President Trump as much as the media would like to think that we are, is that when you start impeding on our family time, on our travel, when we're sitting down looking at, man, I put $1,000 away to go on this trip, and how am I almost broke? What did we get? When you go to the supermarket and you get the bill, you're hearing, what did we buy?
Yeah.
Like what?
How?
You know what I'm saying? Like, so I mean, that's what they need to be focused on, but they're not. The Democrats are playing a horrible game. It worked once, but they had a pandemic and some other things, and so they're going to run on that again. And I just hope the majority of American voters, the independents and the moderate Democrats, just say, you know what, this clearly didn't work. This administration didn't work. This woke stuff didn't work, and let's get back to center and give the other side a chance to fix some of this stuff. And see what happens. And if not, then, you got 4 more years, you can vote again.
Well, you can watch more from Tyrus on his Fox Nation streaming special Here and Now. Also, check out his book, Nuff Said, which I highly recommend. Tyrus, we're always grateful for you. Thanks for being with us again here.
Yep, always a pleasure.
I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Hi, Tyrus, he's a Fox News contributor, regular on Gutfeld, and a regular here on The Annie Frey Show, and has been pretty much from the beginning. It's always great to talk to him.